If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Hi, my name is Gia, and today we're going to be talking about goal setting and how setting goals can help you achieve your dreams. If you like the content that you're seeing, please leave a like, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. It would really help out the channel a lot, and I would appreciate it. So I think it's about time that after a couple of episodes in on this channel that I just talk to you about a little bit of my beginning days for investing. So when I first started out, I was doing magic. I was sitting there shuffling cards one day, and then one of the magicians that I used to follow, his name is Andre Jick. I'm going to leave a link to his description below because he went from the magic world to the finance world and introduced me to a concept called dividends, which I had no idea about before. Because prior to that, whenever anybody in the circle of my life talked about investing, they always talked how they would go up real quick and then they would lose all their money and it would be a huge problem. And then here I come one day watching this video about dividends, seeing a whole nother world of investing that I was never exposed to. So that was in late 2019. And that's when I learned about brokerages and things like that. So I gave it a chance. I opened up a Robinhood in the end of 2019, and I just put a little bit of money in there to see, test the waters, see how I feel about it, and then how I would go on from there. By March of 2020, I was fully sucked into it. I was a dividend investor. There was nothing else that could be said about it, and it was all I ever wanted to do from that point forward. The problem with this, though, was I had no education about it. I literally have just started watching a few YouTube videos on it, and I was pretty much playing with fire at that point because I was investing in stocks for their dividends for like these ultra high yields that were unsustainable, and that were really low value and that were monthly paying dividends because I was like, why not get paid every single month as often as I can? And I was really sacrificing some real, growth potential opportunities, especially because during 2020, that's when, the pandemic was going on and there was a lot of sales, the companies were at a lot lower value. Fast forward to today, throughout this whole time, I've been educating myself. I've been reading books. I've been watching more videos. I've been listening to podcasts, having discussions with other people that are in the same space. And I've really acquired a large amount of knowledge in a small amount of time. And I've really gotten to the point where I've refined my account and I've did some housekeeping to clean out some certain stocks that I wasn't too fond of anymore, and really position myself in a way that I feel that I'm going to be growing to reach my goals. Now, with that, we're going to talk about goals and why they're important. One way that I like to think about goals is using an acronym called SMART, making SMART goals. SMART goals were introduced, or at least they're first mentioned, by an author called Peter Drucker in 1954 in a book called The Practice of Management. In there, he talks about managing objectives, and one of the acronyms he used to help describe this was SMART goals. And the acronym stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timeable goals, right? So those, you can use that for creating long-term goals, for creating short-term goals, but at the end, as long as they meet, all 5 of those different criterias, they're clear, they pave the path for what you want to do to achieve your goal. So I'm going to talk about 2 of my goals, 2 of my main goals. I would say they're my main long-term goals. Okay, for me, one of them is by 2045, I would like to have my annual dividend income match or beat my current salary. Right now I'm a physical education teacher and I do a whole bunch of, small other jobs here and there. I have a photography business as well. And, you know, that's a lot of time that I'm using up. I'm waking up super early, I'm working all the way through the day, and then there's like a little window at night where it's like, it's calm finally. And that's not how I want to spend the rest of my life, right? I want to retire early. So I'm developing my portfolio, which I have nicknamed Fire Swan. You know, financially independent, retire early, sleep well at night, right? Fire Swan. To help combat this long-term need for the job that I'm in, so I can retire early and still bring in the same amount or more to help pay the bills and everything else, and live the life the way that I want to live it. My second goal by 2035, I want to have the value of my portfolio go over $1 million. This one, not really in line with dividend growth investing. You know, I'd like to classify the type of investor that I am as a dividend growth investor. But, you know, at some level, you know, you don't want the value of your portfolio to completely disappear, right? So I would also like to see it go over $1 million, because that would be a small, you know, small win. Seeing all those zeros and everything would be quite an achievement. Thank you for tuning in with me today. For the question of the day, what are some goals that you have? You know, try to describe them as a SMART goal. Give them a way to clearly navigate what you want to do. Make some small milestones in between, and so that you can follow it to reach your goal. Make sure it's attainable. I would also like to give a shout out. Recently I started listening to a new podcast. It's called One Penny at a Time. You can find it on Apple Podcast or Spotify. It's run by a friend of mine named Harris Elliott, and he's going in an in-depth way to explain dividend investing and other investing principles for a new investor, for a beginner. So there's nothing that's really highfalutin that you can't keep up with. So I really suggest, if you want a podcast to listen to, I recommend it. As always, please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just talking a little bit about my own investing journey. I'm sitting here thinking, there was another quote that I wanted to say. Try to shoot for the moon, because if you miss, you're going to land amongst the stars. And with that, have a great day.